Zeno of Elea was a philosopher of the Eleatic school. He was born in 490 BC and died in 430 BC. A student of Parmenides, Zeno is remembered as the master of paradoxes. His mission was to prove that his teacher was completely right. He firmly believed there was no real change or motion in the world. To support this, he created a series of paradoxes. Let's look at a few of them. The first one is called Achilles and the Tortoise. Instead of Achilles, let's use the example of Nassim Hamed, the fastest woman in the world. She runs so quickly that no one can match her speed. But according to Zeno, even she couldn't outrun a tortoise. Imagine Nassim Hamed racing a tortoise, but we give the tortoise a 100-meter head start. Every time Nassim reaches the spot where the tortoise was, the tortoise has already moved a little further ahead. When she reaches that new spot, the tortoise has again moved forward. This process repeats endlessly, moving toward infinity. The conclusion? Nassim Hamed could never actually pass the tortoise, and the tortoise would win. Zeno also explained this using another example. If I want to travel from Lahore to Islamabad, I first have to get halfway there. Before I reach that halfway point, I have to cover half of that distance, and then half of that again, continuing infinitely. According to this reasoning, I would never actually reach Islamabad, or even move from my chair. Another one of Zeno's paradoxes is called the arrow paradox. Suppose we fire an arrow. At any single moment in time, the arrow is motionless, it occupies a fixed position. Since time is made of moments, and at each moment the arrow is still, Zeno argued that the arrow can't move at all. If every instant is frozen, motion itself becomes impossible. When Zeno presented this idea, the philosopher Diogenes didn't respond with words. Instead, he simply got up and walked across the room, proving Zeno wrong in practice. Zeno, however, was not just a thinker, he was also deeply political. He opposed the tyrant Demolus. When his rebellion failed, Zeno tried to kill him but was captured. Under torture, Zeno bit off his own tongue and spat it at Demolus, choosing defiance over submission. The philosophy of Zeno is important for two main reasons. First, through paradoxes like the dichotomy, the tortoise and Achilles, and the arrow, he introduced the concept of mathematical infinity, something the Greeks had not fully considered at the time. Second, and perhaps most importantly, Zeno pioneered a method of reasoning known as reduction to the absurd. In this method, you take an argument to its logical conclusion. If that conclusion turns out to be absurd or impossible, then either your original premises are flawed, or your reasoning is incorrect. This approach later became the foundation of the Socratic method, which played a key role in the history of philosophy. Earlier, I mentioned that pre-Socratic philosophy can be divided into three groups. The founders, Thales, Anaximander, Anaximenes, Pythagoras, and Heraclitus. The challengers, Xenophanes, Parmenides, Zeno of Elea, and Melissus. The synthesizers, who tried to bring these ideas together. After the Eleatic school made its challenge, claiming that change and motion are impossible, philosophers faced a new question: if the universe is made of only one kind of being, then how is change possible? Parmenides had argued that change cannot come from non-being, since non-being doesn't exist. So if only one kind of being exists, then change seems impossible. The philosopher Empedocles would later step in with a solution to this problem.